Bună seara și bun venit la conferința de marți seară. În continuare vom vorbi în engleză pentru invitații din străinătate. Am să vă invit să folosiți butonul de interpretare, selectarea limbii române și veți putea auzi traducerea conferinței. Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon and welcome. Welcome to this amazing project, 100% security. And as we explore with new consciousness during 40 days, we come closer to the experience of complete security, complete peace, complete love, complete benevolence. And we realize there is nothing more empowering than to know your true self. Tonight, we have the opportunity to hear about the self and about truth. And we are joined by Dr. Prashant Kakoday, currently based in Cambridge, the Great Britain. And he has a background in ENT surgery. He is originally from Goa, from India. He has been associated with Brahma Kumaris for 40 years. And he has been teaching about health and spiritual understanding of our mind, of our psyche for so many years, for decades. And he has been invited to over 80 countries. So we are honored and very happy to hear tonight about these significant topics: the self, the truth about the self, the truth about all of us. So inviting Dr. Prashant Kakoday to come into sound and video, and also maybe to sketch the outline of the meeting. There will be a 30 minutes presentation followed by questions. You are very welcome to ask questions, so please write them into the chat and they will be asked to Prashant. And then there will be a few minutes of meditation. The first part will be live on Facebook, and after the first 30 minutes, we will have discussion and questions and answers. So over to you, Prashant.
Thank you, Ivana, and hello to this gathering. Great pleasure to take part in this beautiful title, the security of the self. And also, I would like to tell that let us explore this subject together. So feel free to interact, and I might like to encourage you to come in the camera also. Those who like that, please feel free and come into the interaction. Make your comments, type your comments, and we would like you to take part all throughout. And questions, and you can ask questions also all throughout as we go. I want to start with one story. You all have heard about Nasruddin. One day, Nasruddin was searching for his key, on a street light. On the street, under the street light, he's searching for something. And his neighbor comes out and says, "What are you doing here at the middle of the night?" He says, "I'm searching for my key." So his neighbor also starts looking for the key on the street. And after another 10 minutes, the neighbor asks him, "Do you know where you dropped your key?" He says, "Yes." He says, "Where?" He says, "In my bedroom." "In your bedroom? And what are you doing here on the street?" He says, "There is light here. In my bedroom, it is dark." So this is nice story, and we have got different ways of interpreting it. But the essence here, you will find a key where you lost it, not where it is easy. There are many lights. I can look all over the street lights, but I will find it where I lost it. Now, this is our story. We all are searching for something. We are searching for happiness, for example. We are searching for peace. We want to be secure, and we want the experience of love. There are many things which and everyone is searching for. And we all are searching for it where we think it is easy. We think it will be easy to get this, from another person. We think another person will make me happy. Or we think we may have to go to another place that will make me happy. Or some possession, if I get the right kind of some iPod, that will make me happy. Is it like that? Is that the way you think? Different things, maybe if I eat something, in different things, we think that is what will fulfill what I'm looking for. Where have we lost all this? Certainly, I didn't lose my happiness in another place because I did not even know about those places all this my life. So I did not go there to lose my happiness there. I did not lose my love in another person, because I did not know this wonderful person before, that I go and lose my love there. So where did we lose it? You want to answer? Where did we lose all this peace and happiness and love and security, this 100% security? We are all searching for it. So where did we lose it? If you get a right answer, you will get a chocolate. Stakes are very high. We'll deliver.
Identifications when we lost connection with ourselves.
Good, very good. Any other thoughts?
We forgot God.
Yes. Good. So the nice way of seeing it, that we lost ourselves. What you answered, it is true. We lost ourselves, and we are then searching for everywhere else. There is a nice poem by T.S. Eliot, and the poem says, I will not stop exploring. They are exploring, they are going to the Mars, and they are going to different other universes, and they are going to space. Everyone is exploring, will not cease from exploring. And end of all our exploring is to come back to oneself. Come back to yourself. This is the paradox within us. So we have lost ourselves. I'm going to use the board and let us see how we lost ourselves. And I like to represent the physical world. Let us say below this line is our physical world. Everything, all the wonderful people and objects are here. All the goodies. But let me give you one example. In these days, the World Health Organization is using a diagnosis, and it is connected with the computer games. There is emotional disconnect with many people who are playing with computer games. Yes, so it is called gaming. So they play the computer game and they get drawn into it so much that they ignore themselves, and there is emotional disconnect. They are disconnected from their parents and people. They don't even talk, or they are just in their own world. And some of them, they even ignore, they don't even eat. And they're all genius in that computer game. They got an amazing success. And the next step is some people have died as a result because they are ignoring themselves completely. There is, but they are achieving a lot in the computer world. So what is happening? There is a phenomena where people get drawn into something. It is like this. You are gradually drawn. This is a weakness of human being. There are something you like and you get drawn into it. Your mind is drawn into it and you can't let go of it. Just like an addiction that some people experience. But that is happening at many other levels. But then there is an emotional disconnect. You are disconnected from many things of your world, and you continue to be pulled more and more and more in an abnormal way. And that's why if someone is such an emotional disconnect, he ignores his body, doesn't eat, and he falls ill, and some die, then something is seriously wrong in what he's doing. His thinking is something wrong. Now, what this spiritual knowledge says, this has been happening in the human beings for a long time. In this physical world, this entire, what is shown here below the blue line, that itself has become like a computer game for us. And we are drawn into it more and more and more until there is emotional disconnect with our world and everything of ours. We are so excited with things of this world and addicted to some level. And the big areas of addictions here, you just need to see where your thoughts are going. In 100% of our thoughts in an ordinary person are all around this world, as if that is the only world that exists. And 90% of our thoughts are cyclical thoughts. And these thoughts are revolving around people, position, possessions. People, if you are thinking about someone will in a position, possessions, places, and pizza, food in some form. So your mind is cyclical and drawn into it and can't stop thinking of it. This is abnormal. And in that state of abnormal awareness, we have got some idea of the self. And if the starting position is confusion, then our idea of self is also a result of that confusion. We define ourselves based on things here, temporary things. That's where our present state is. Spiritual message is first we have to come out of this abnormal state and wake up, pull myself out. And nice way to see that is come up the spiral. I have to pull myself out, step back. Even those who study spiritual intelligence, they say, if you are able to step back and if you are capable of doing that, you are intelligent. Many things happen. Can you step back even for a few seconds before acting? Can you get a perspective, detached perspective? Then you are intelligent. In one way of dealing with situation, you react, you say something, you do something and then regret. That is one way of doing it. Other is, even for a few seconds, you step back and then see, and then you are acting, and then you are speaking. In it, then you, whatever you are doing, there is intelligence in it. You will not regret. If we do this, introduce this practice, it is a good thing. And as you are stepping back, you will continue to discover the real you. And not only real you, you will discover your real world. Right now, we are emotionally disconnected with our world. And you will rediscover the real world. Sure. You would like to say anything? You want to, any comments or any questions? Feel free, to type any comments. I would like to give another, feel free to type, but I will in the meantime give you another image. I like this image that is used very much. Imagine there was a prince, and the prince, he is happy prince, he got all the treasures, and he belongs to the King of Kings. He is loved by the king, and this prince visits another town and gradually meets with people and local village people, and gradually forgets that he is the prince. He's busy with things of the town. And if he forgets that he's a prince, then he's nobody. Then he has to rely upon other people giving him food and giving him something, coins, and then he's happy. And when he is not getting food, he has to beg from people and lead a life, survive. And he can still be happy also, but he's happy when he gets coins. When he gets many coins, he's very happy. When he loses the coins, he's very unhappy. His happiness is the happiness of a beggar, and his sorrow is sorrow of a beggar. Whilst all along, he's a prince. Imagine a story. Does this happen? In the world, does it happen? I might not have come across cases like that. But that is our story. The spiritual knowledge tells us that we are drawn in this direction so much that at present we are leading a life so different to our starting position. Starting position of all of us is of the eternal prince. And this is without exaggeration. This applies to each and everyone. The starting position of everyone is that we are immortal. Immortal without needing anything. Such is the case. So there is no need of a beggar for survival. So he is the eternal prince. He belongs to the King of Kings, God. Loved by God, belongs to God, and has the company of God. He knows God. Starting position is this. Just like, say, some prince in this country, he has access to the queen, and he knows the queen. He doesn't think, oh, I'm meeting queen. No, he has a right there. He belongs there. In the same way here, the eternal prince belongs to the King of Kings. He has a right there. He's loved, and he is having the company of the King of Kings. He belongs to this world that is auspicious, nothing inauspicious. Eternity and immortality changes the game completely. No one is insecure. Insecurity brings all kinds of our lower behavior. Insecurity, I get into greed and I can be violent, I can be anxious. Free from all of those things. And what remains is state of bliss and love. Everyone appears harmless. They are not going to harm you because they are all secure. And you yourselves are beyond harm. Completely different game. It is a world of princes. All are noble, all lovely and loving. Such is the life led by all. All are princes, all are secure. And as was said before, their life is natural state of peace, happiness, love, and they are secure. They got the ultimate treasures. Or they are not searching for it, they already got it. That's why princes. Now, when they come in this physical world, this computer game, and they get drawn in this computer game and has an emotional disconnect and think that they are something else from the computer game, completely confused, and then don't even know that they are confused. Plato describes this state, don't know that you don't know. That is the state where we are at present. Eternal prince is forgotten. He is the prince, and whole thing, emotional disconnect. Now what remains once in that state? He is forever continuous. He is in a state of a beggar. Mindset is of a beggar. Regardless of his achievements, he can be king, he can be president, he can get gold, he can have billions. He still wants more. He wants something else. The mind is of a beggar. He may have a little happiness of a beggar because today he got a little bit praised, someone praised him. Happiness of a beggar, but also sorrows of a beggar. Mindset is of a beggar. In that state, he is constantly programmed to see himself as a victim. Someone can just say some one word and he can say, oh, poor me, someone said this to me. I am hurt by someone. Or last year someone did something and I was a victim. Forever he sees himself as a victim. So it is not just a beggar, he is also, trapped in this computer game. And any state of confusion will not bring the positive fruit. If your friend is confused, then there are the degradation. He will have problems and he will create more problems to himself. And he may create problems to others also. We have created a society where they are in this mindset of a beggar, mindset of a victim, and the mindset of a slave. They're forgotten, that they are their own masters. Now they are dependent on so many, even weather. They are hoping that the weather would be right. If weather changes, they are unhappy, which means they were dependent on weather. They are dependent on some husband is in a good mood, they are happy. Some children say the right words, then they are happy. That is dependency. Then they create masters around themselves. So that is the slave mind, victim mind, and the beggar mind. These are the lowest denominations in any society. In any, you go to any part of the world, lowest level in a social hierarchy is a beggar, slave, victim. These are the lowest denominations. And this applies to everyone. As we said, if someone may be a president, but he feels inside, mindset is, I'm a potential victim. Someone can don't agree with my ideas, and someone don't vote for me. He's begging for election votes. In a mindset, helplessly, he's in that beggar mode, victim mode, and slave mode. This is not the only option that human beings have. Some of the psychologists, they say this is normal because animals behave like this. They compare themselves to the animal world because we have lost even contrast. We are so caught into this world, and that has become so much of a normal for everyone that they are comparing themselves with animals. I say this is normal, because animals behave. What the spiritual model says is that this is not normal. It is just like you're getting drawn into this computer game. In the same way, we have gone into this very abnormal state, and we have the option to come out of this state, discover. We have to first learn how to get in the upward spiral. Make that little effort, take some step. It is nice to know the true self, but that is not enough. It has to become natural for us. We need to experience it. And this is nice, this project, 100% security project, that will definitely help us. The meditations, they are aimed to nourish that true self, that higher consciousness. But let me hear some thoughts from you, and then we'll build on this a little further. Is it like that? And the higher consciousness is a noble consciousness. Prince we are talking about. And we said it is not an exaggeration. Everyone is divine prince. At the moment, he thinks he is a slave and a beggar, but starting position is divine prince. If you are asking what is the true self, eternally divine prince. If someone asks you, tell them, who belongs to the King of Kings. And as we said, not a metaphor, not an exaggeration. We have to make that effort to find out more.
Thank you, Prashant. Very clear. Thank you. Someone made a comment, I like the abnormal awareness. Maybe the term abnormal awareness, it has become normal actually for us, but you are defining something very different as being normal.
Yes.
And another comment, how do you get retract? Maybe they are meaning, how do you go back in that ascending spiral? Do you remember God, or how do you go above that line?
Yes. Let me answer this right now. And the answer is, let me come to this, another image. Just as we said, he is the prince, and someone is playing a computer game. Nothing wrong with playing a computer game, as long as he remembers he is playing it for a short time, for 1 hour, and he has his world beyond. as long as he remembers the bigger map that protects him from going in the spiral. In the same way, for us, it will be good for us to draw some sketch like this. And this represents our world. And draw a line like this. Just this one, this is all. Just draw a sketch like this and keep it in your main room. What happens by doing this? We are reminding ourselves of the bigger map. Just as I may be visiting someone's house, I'm there for 5 minutes, but I got to exit. I'm there for 5 minutes, but I definitely come out. When I remember that there's a bigger world beyond and I'm there just for 5 minutes, I don't get drawn into it and I don't create attachments. I don't get into confusion. But it is possible, children, they can be going to someone's house and then they don't want to go out. They create attachments. They cry when it is time to go. What has happened? They got into confusion. They are incapable sometimes to see the bigger map. That's why they create attachments. And then they suffer, they cry. We are like that at present. In this larger world, we have forgotten the bigger map. That's why we are creating attachments. It is the game of the intellect. Intellect has become narrow. At some level, we are not seeing the very big map. By drawing just as a sketch, you are telling yourselves that we got to exit. I'm not going to be here forever. Guaranteed exit. This body is going to die and there is journey. So just seeing the bigger map and writing a word here, I am a guest and I am a traveler. Invisible guest, an invisible traveler passing through this physical world. Great, so this is a nice homework for us. But then create 1 minute where you actually experience. You are experiencing what it means to be the invisible guest in a physical world. Actually experience invisible guest passing through this physical world. Lots of goodies. We said before, people, position, possessions, all of them are there. But I don't own anything. They're all nice. I am a guest, and passing through this, I come out. Even this body is part of this world. Invisible guest is just nice. He's like a tourist observing this. By experimenting with this for 1 minute, during that 1 minute, you are going up the spiral. Because the guest is detached. That guest perspective takes you out. During that minute, you are seeing with a completely different perspective. You find you can't own one atom in that world. And nothing of that world, the amazing computer game, but nothing of that. You can't be disconnected. You are moving upward. Every minute you practice this again, you will be seeing you are further going up. And as you go up, you will continue to discover your higher security. More you create attachments in that temporary box, you will feel insecure. More you come out of it, like a guest in this house. He's secure, he loses nothing. things may be changing, things are taken away, but he's a guest. You got nothing to lose. Same happens during that minute. You find you are secure. You got nothing to lose. People, position, possessions. And when you are secure, it brings your higher feelings. When you are secure, you discover that peace and happiness. And your secure person is able to love. You will discover those things. So the question, how do we rediscover the true self? To play with it. 1 minute, that's great. We all can play with it for 1 minute. Congratulate yourselves for being able to do it for 1 minute. You may not be able to do for another 2 minutes, no problem. But every minute you are creating, congratulate yourself. So we progress with the energy of congratulations and appreciation and fun and happiness. It is a journey towards happiness, but the process is also of happiness.
Thank you, Prashant. There are no further questions now. Just to clarify this emotional disconnect, how do we realize we are in that space? As people may actually say they have too many emotions. They feel there is so much to experience already. How to understand that you are speaking about a completely different space?
Sure. I know what we want. We want to experience the higher range of emotions. Ordinarily people are experiencing emotions in that whole range. There is anxiety and all kinds, boredom, and these are also emotions. More we go in that spiral, if we represent that spiral, as we go at this end of the spiral, there are heavy emotions, where there is you got something to lose and something you're lost, and emotions of the victim and beggar and the emotions of the slave. What will be the emotions? And there can be happiness also, but this happiness also of a beggar. That is what will be happening there. As we go into the other spiral, you discover the same world outside, but that is not creating unhappiness in you. Because you are free. You are a prince. You got unlimited treasures and eternal treasures. You know of your eternity. And you are a guest here. So things that bothered another person, they don't bother him. He doesn't take offense, and he doesn't give offense. One who is in this lower spiral, he will be quick at taking offense, quick at giving offense. So a different game altogether. One who is in this upward spiral, at this end of the spiral, his life is of blessings and appreciation and a love. What is mentioned, love the enemy, that is not possible if someone is here. He cannot love his friends. Leave aside, love the enemy. But one who is at this end of the spiral is very secure, and he feels no one can harm him. Others may have intention to create problems and they think they are enemies, but he has no enemies. He's beyond. Just as say if you are in a helicopter and there is a tiger down below, you love that tiger because he can't harm you. He wants to eat you. A tiger, given the chance, he will eat you. But when you are in the helicopter, you have feelings of love for him. Because you are safe. Same thing happens in a person who is soul conscious, one who has discovered the true self. He is beyond harm in an absolute sense. And that's why the range of emotions are different. We all are looking for this, as was said in that story. We all are searching for something. Everyone want happiness and peace. But the question is, are we going for happiness of the beggar, or are we going for the happiness of the prince? I'll tell you another nice image, or I'll ask you a question. One philosopher asks a question: what's the difference between optimist and pessimist? That was the question from this philosopher. Do you want to answer? So he's asking, what's the difference between optimist and pessimist? What do you think is the answer?
You can see some faces smiling. Perspective, someone said.
Sure. What perspective? This philosopher, he gives the answer. He says, optimist wakes up in the morning and says, good morning, God. 3 words. Good morning, God. Pessimist wakes up in the morning and says, good God, morning. So for him, morning is a problem. Evening is also a problem. To go to work is a problem. To come home is a problem. He's dealing with problems. Same life, the optimist sees everything as an opportunity. So what made a difference? What made him, optimist or pessimist? It is almost like, one has to just cross some line here in this spiral. Once you cross that point, then it becomes good God, morning. If you go a little bit beyond that point, you are on the other side, then it becomes good morning, God. So our journey is to get on this spiral and then cross that point. Then the range of emotions are different, and same world, same morning and same job, but your reactions, how you see it, will be from the position of good morning, God. Excellent. So I will stop here, and it will be nice to hear from Ioana also. And
there is another question, maybe if you would like to quickly answer this one as well. How to remain soul conscious while trying to advance in the world, for example, in your career?
Sure. More you are soul conscious, there is more clarity. We said that lower mind is confusion. So every minute you are practicing detachment, seeing yourself as a guest, you are bringing in clarity. You are seeing the bigger map, there's more clarity. And more the clarity, it will help you in anything that you are doing. Even if you are playing sport, you will be better in that. Because with that clarity, you are more efficient, concentration is better, you are more creative. So if you are in a job and if you want to hire whatever you want to achieve, you will only be better, whatever you are doing, from that higher consciousness. But in that soul consciousness is such that you know something higher than position. So you may be in a position of a king, but you will not get attached to the position. So and it is a nice balance.
Yes, clear. I hope she will get the answer. Thank you. Would you like to conduct meditation maybe in the next 4 or 5 minutes? Time really flies when we are having fun, and I feel there is such a rich material that you gave tonight, and it's definitely very good for revision, and we have food for thought with everything you said. So thank you, and maybe we can join you in meditation.
Sure. So wherever we are, we can see that our posture is right. Preferably head raised. Consciously relax the shoulders. And we remind ourselves that just as we can be a guest in someone's house, we think of a moment when we are guests at someone's house. You are at a place, you know you don't own anything in that house, and you know you don't lose anything. You experience the lightness of a guest. You experience the security of a guest. You got nothing to lose. Feel light and secure. You experience freedom of a guest. Guest feels more free than anyone else. We remind ourselves that we are guests on this planet. We see the perspective of the invisible guest on this planet. And being a guest on this planet, we know we truly can't own anything on this planet. We don't own land, houses. We don't truly own anything. Guest. And so the guest knows he doesn't lose anything. The guest on this planet knows he can't own anyone else. And so he knows he can't lose anything and anyone. The invisible guest knows he truly can't own this body. He's a guest. Body stays behind. At most, he's a trustee of many things, including the body. But he doesn't own the body, and so he knows he doesn't die with the body. Invisible guest realizes that he doesn't own a single atom on this planet. He's a guest, doesn't own an atom here. And he got nothing to lose ever. He experiences that sense of total liberation. For him, every moment appears like a gift. And every interaction appears like a gift. Every sound and every experience becomes like a gift. Invisible guest has a higher sense of appreciation, has a higher sense of gratitude. He has a higher quality of life. This very moment. As we continue on our journey, we remember the beautiful truth of the beautiful self.